Welcome to the Aura Evolution Podcast, a sacred place for you to return home to your soul. I'm Helen Yeplan, founder of Helen Creates Beauty and the author of the Aura Color Wheel. This podcast is a sanctuary from soul discovery to soul mastery. Each week, we explore aura wisdom, spirit connection, and energy tools to help you embody your light and live your soul's purpose with clarity, joy, and fulfillment. Take a deep breath. Welcome home.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the episode 27 of the Aura Evolution podcast. If we are meeting the first time, my name is Helen Yeplan. I'm the founder of Helen Creates Beauty and the author of the Aura Color Wheel. And this is a system to identify your soul's purpose through your unique soul aura color. And I work with spiritual seekers, creatives, and entrepreneurs to reclaim their inner radiance and connect with their spirit team, channel their full spectrum of light into purpose and beautiful soul expressions. So now, are you ready to dive in today's topic with me? We're going to talk about past lives, your soul gifts, and soul memories. I just came back from Spain after a 3-week trip. So I have some deep dive in Spain because I remember a lot of, or rather my soul remembers a lot of past lives in Andalusia, so specifically in the southern part of Spain. And it feels like a sense of home. That's how I felt. I've been drawn to visit for a while, but because of different schedule and family responsibilities, haven't been able to do that. Finally, all the stars are aligned this year, so I did that with my daughter. So although it's very hot over there and the World Cup is also going on, so pretty much every night during we are in Madrid, especially, it's pretty much cheers. If you know that the World Cup just ended and Spain won. So I'm not a soccer fan, but because I was traveling there, so I can feel the energy and the spirit. So, anyways, so this topic is really inspired by my trip in Spain, especially Andalusia, so Seville, Granada, specifically Cordoba. So those area, like the mountainous areas in the south, super hot. But when I returned to California, it's also hot. I guess global warming is a real thing. So please protect Mother Earth. So, because I'm so inspired by this particular topic, it's almost my personal soul journey during my visit in Spain. That's also why it's inspired me to talk about this topic this week. I hope you enjoyed the last Monday's episode. It's a recorded guided meditation to connect with your spirit team for guidance. If you haven't done so, please go ahead and do the meditation and let me know what guidance you receive from your spirit team. And before we begin today's topic, I also want to invite you to join us in the Aura Evolution Sanctuary membership. So the membership meeting this month is going to be on this Thursday because I was traveling the first week of July. Typically, we meet the first Thursday of the month from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And there, I am going to guide you through a past life regression energy session, channel with Archangel Michael. And we really going to go deep dive into, what are the soul gifts, soul wounds, and also soul contracts that you potentially have. It's impacting you this lifetime. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you to join. And as a founding member for the first year for the membership, you are going to receive first month free. But 1 year membership commitment is required. I'm going to put the link in the chat so that way you can grab it and join us. Our meeting is live every first Thursday of the month because Thursday is Jupiter's day, so ideal time to do spiritual growth work. However, if you cannot join us live, all the recording is available for you to go back to and do every time, all the time that you wanted to, because it's an ever growing library of content that talks about how to fully embody your life or fully embody your soul's purpose, different practice in and different theme for each month. And also inside the membership, you are able to ask me questions anytime in the community, and with like-minded souls to grow or evolve their soul's purpose with you. So I hope to see you this Thursday there, and the first month is free. Okay, so let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about why do some places feel like home, and what does that has to do with you this particular lifetime? Because sometimes your soul remembers. I would begin to ask that, like before I visit Spain, I already feel a familiarity with it because my favorite food is actually paella. So for a soul that's born and raised in China, loving paella, it's quite a, like a strange thing, right? So you can start noticing some patterns that you might feel drawn to, your soul might feel you just like it, but you really cannot explain why, especially based on your upbringing environment, that there is no reason that you would or you could have liked it. The same thing goes to flamenco dancing. I've been practicing flamenco dancing for about 8 years now. So I'm not a professional, but it's a serious hobby that I've been doing, and I do perform here and there in Southern California. So that's another thing, like what type of music do you like, right? What do you like? That particular music, if it comes from a particular period, like time period, it's very possibly that you have a past life in that particular time period. And that particular food that you really enjoy, you might have already had past lives in that particular region, where that particular dish or particular food comes from. Now, also one thing I find it really fascinating is that when I visited Andalusia, that's my first time in Spain, literally this lifetime, but I already feel so familiar with it. And in Granada, while I visited, there was a local chef have like an experience gastronomy experience, and it's inspired by his childhood. So all the dishes he created are based on the memory of his childhood. And literally every single dish is like a 10-course meal, like small portions in our hotel. And boy, those dishes really reminds me of my own childhood. That's what feeling familiar, or your soul rings a bell, because you have past life in those areas. So while many people are curious about who they are in the past life, I find a more powerful question that you can ask yourself or ask your soul is, what is that lifetime trying to teach me today? Okay, it's interesting to find out that, okay, you feel familiar in Spain, you like that food, you were perhaps a gypsy in that lifetime, but also what is that particular lifetime trying to teach me today? So that's something that we can all ask our soul for, because that's what's relevant for us this lifetime to take. Now, I also want to mention that soul gifts sometimes can carry across lifetimes. In the oracular wheel system, you know that we all born with one primary soul gift archetype. And that particular soul gift is what we have accumulated from many, many, many lifetimes. So we can find some clues into our south node. If you are familiar with Western astrology, our south node typically tells us that, where our gift, or at least from our past life, that we accumulate from. Okay. So for example, like a lot of sometimes my students call me the spiritual jack of all trades. Because they will always say that, oh, Helen, you've been doing so many things. You're a certified crystal healer, you are an artist, you're a painter, you're an author, you dance flamenco, and then you do all kinds of healing work and teaching, spiritual teaching. Like, who are you really, right? And then my answer will be always like, because I've been accumulate these gifts from different lifetimes. It's just like my soul remembers them and I bring them forth. So one way that you can think of what is that particular lifetime trying to teach you today is what are the relevant soul gifts that I have accumulated in that particular lifetime. For example, like I personally, my South Node is in the 5th house in Sagittarius. So as I mentioned, one hint that you can look into is where is your South Node located. All right. So 5th house is literally about creativity and expression, right? So that's why the artist, the interior design, the feng shui, and all of that comes from that creativity or author, writing a book. And the Sagittarius, it's about travel and spirituality, teaching, philosophy. And that's also what I've been doing. And that's what I've been accumulated from different lifetimes. And there is one particular monastery, it's so familiar to me in Dolelo. That's not in Andalusia, but it's closer to Madrid. Like when I enter the monastery, I can even vividly, like almost like, having a vision or a movie coming in my third eye that I had lifetime there as a monk. So that means that I've been doing spiritual learning and teaching for a while, not just this particular lifetime. That's why I feel connected to the higher source, right? So that's one way. Okay, so what a lovely day, Naidi. Thank you for joining us live. She is saying that her South Node is in Leo in the 8th house. So Leo is my first, like my rising sign. So I'm very familiar with it. So that means, Leo is all about individuality, like being the center, literally, like, create drama, which is good, good drama. I'm not talking about, I do not have any judgment around it. And 8th house, it's related to birth and rebirth, death, birth, and rebirth. So it's like really in the depth of things. So you're not afraid of going deep into anything. It's also about personal transformation. So if you can be, you have a stage that you can be in the center to share something deep, personal transformation, that would be the one of your gift that you have this lifetime. Now, the main thing is that whether you're using this gift, right? Just like after you take the soul oracle course, are you going to, like, you understand that's your soul gift archetype? Are you going to do that to actually, courageously enough to take that leap of faith to really claim? First is awareness, right? And the second, we take action towards it. So I was in PhD, going to become a professor of society. And then I ended up deciding to quit it because I really think my creativity should take center stage of my life. And that's literally in the 5th house, right? Okay, so what a lovely day. Saying that my mic is breaking up. So please let me know if the audio is a little bit better now. Thank you for letting me know. Let me know if the audio is good. And this podcast is live every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're tuning in any of the YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, feel free to comment and ask any questions related to the topic. I love like actions. So lovely day night. Let me know. still break interference. Okay. I am going to choose my mic. Then I change things a bit. Okay, I just switched my mic. Thank you so much for letting me know. I hope the first 15 minutes in the audio version it still works. So this podcast is live on Monday with the video version on all the platforms. Much better. Thank you so much for letting me know. And then Tuesday morning, you are going to have the audio version on anywhere that you love to do your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, any platform. Thank you so much. That's a big help. I think Mercury is in retrograde right now. There is always some technology issue that's going on. I'm glad that I got it fixed. I always have a backup camera, backup mic in case one doesn't work. So, okay, so just to summarize that I mentioned to begin with this topic, I talk about my personal story of how I feel a familiarity or, or drawn towards Spain and want to spend time over there. And one questions that I encourage to ask your soul today is that what is that particular lifetime trying to teach me? Because if you are feeling a particular place that are really familiar, it's very likely that you have a past life there. Another hint or things that you can look into Western astrology chart is your moonlight in astrocartography. That name always tripped my mouth because English is not my first language. Forgive me if I didn't pronounce it correctly. So astrocartography, it's a method basically drawing different lines of your planet across the globe and seeing what particular location is on your planet lines. For example, then I mentioned that if your moon, that particular line goes across particular spaces in the world, that means most likely you feel at home, and you feel safe in those places, even when you travel, okay? And also very likely that you have past lives in those places as well. That's why you feel safe and feel like home. And to me, many of the Andalusia region in southern Spain are across my moon line. Both Seville and Granada are actually around my moon line. I'm talking about 60-mile radius. So it doesn't have to be right in the smack of the line, but it can be around, like a little circle around. And you can feel that impact. Of course, the closer to that line, the more stronger impact that you can feel about that, that particular area. So that's another hint that you can look into it. And the second second point that we talk about is that discover what soul gifts that you've carried from across these lifetimes. So once you discover, where you might have your past lives, in which region, and the thing is that, like, what gifts have you picked up from this particular lifetime? And that's a hint to look into. Is your South Node, which house and what side, right? And Watcher Lovely Day 90 saying that I'm drawn to Asia. Yeah, then explore Asia. And one thing that I highly recommend you to, before you travel, of course, the ideal way to experience it is to travel there. But before you go there, you can watch movies, travel documentaries, and things like that, right? And then to understand the culture and that particular region before you visit. And I remember that I also drawn to movies in that particular period of between 14 to 1500. I don't know why. I just love watching movies, historic drama set in southern Spain, literally set in Spain, somewhere in Spain, right? And I was joking with my husband this morning that there is a scene in that particular monastery that was sung in the Spanish Princess. I think that's the title of
TV series. I hope I remember it correctly. I might be wrong. But the main thing is that when I enter into that monastery, I literally remember that scene was shot here. And I'm like, okay, he's the Dolelo is right here. So that's another hint that your soul might have a memory in that particular period and in that particular location. And I want you to also ask yourself, is that what am I doing in this particular period? What was my gift? It could be healing, teaching, writing, leadership, art, music, psychic abilities, spiritual gifts. I don't know, like that's why meditation is such key. Meditation is my daily practice. And that's what I tell all my students and clients all the time, that, when in doubt, meditate. Because your soul knows the answer, right? And another, and Watch a Lovely Day 90 was saying that I watch Japan on YouTube a lot. Then yeah, that's definitely go check out Japan. And it's funny enough, that's my next destination to check out in Kyoto and Tokyo. Probably during winter break. I like to travel with my daughter, so I plan my travel schedule around her school schedule. Okay, so another topic that I want to talk about that's relevant for your soul evolution or your aura evolution per se is past life wounds, right? You discover what are your gifts. You want to use them to be of service this lifetime, and also you want to heal your wounds. So this could be, not everything carry forward. It's a gift, from your past lives. Sometimes we carry fears. If you go into a particular place, feel like you have a reaction or emotional, basically emotional trigger of fear, trauma, any limiting beliefs or energetic imprints. For example, like fear of visibility, fear of speaking, fear of success, authority, or being judged, or persecution, poverty. They explain that sometimes a soul wound in this lifetime may have roots and experiences from another lifetime. That's another information, a good piece of information that we can take, right? From and if you take the soul oracular quiz, you have already identified your soul wound aura layer, and it might be related to a particular relevant past life experience in that particular energy center. And Watch a Lovely Day 90 was saying that I know I've been orphaned a lot of times. Okay, so great. Like your soul reminded you of that. So that's a wound of abandonment. Okay, so once you identify this particular wound, I also want you to identify the soul contracts, especially once you understand that particular wound is caused by someone, like another soul. That means there is a soul contract there, right? So abandonment is causing by your soul contract with your parents, right? So and if it's a abusive relationship, it's caused by your partners, right? If it is a wound about persecution or visibility or not being able to speak, it's caused by the soul contract of the government or the authority who's trying to squish your voice, right? So that means that there is soul contract there that to be dissolved, okay? Now, I understand that a lot of soul contracts when we're talking about, we only talks about the negative soul contracts. But I also want to mention that there is also positive soul contracts. Now, soul contracts is both positive and negative. So what's positive soul contract? Positive soul contract is people that are our mentors, our soulmates, who cheer us on for our personal growth journey. Any supportive family, your children, my daughter is pretty much my guiding light right now. So it's like, and also any healing relationships or friendships, even it's just temporary encounter. Okay, so those are positive soul contracts. Now the souls or the people that you've met this lifetime, I always tell this to people that it's not random.
we've met many, many lifetimes. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast or you wouldn't even watching me doing live on this podcast. Any random people, just people going across the street, might have already spent 10 lifetimes with you before this lifetime so that you can meet, right? So it's good to always understand that the people you meet, do they, like uplift your energy when you spend time with them, or do they drain your energy that feels heavy, that you don't feel good with them, right? Then you kind of understand what are positive soul contracts and what are negative soul contracts. Now, a negative soul contract isn't bad, okay? I don't want you to immediately give the judgment or the connotation that, okay, all negative soul contracts are bad. It doesn't mean that way. Sometimes it just serves as a mirror for our personal growth and development. Because, like if we don't, these contracts, by the way, your soul or yourself literally chose it before you incarnated to this lifetime. So you decided, okay, because I need to learn this soul lesson, I need to heal this soul in this lifetime, I need a bad guy in my life so that I finally learn or finally grow and don't repeat in this hamster wheel, right? So examples of negative soul contract that create a learning, a learning situation could be betrayal, abandonment, rejection, difficulty marriages, or toxic relationships, right? So when we are in the middle of it, it's hard for us to kind of zoom out or have a higher perspective to look at it as actually that's trying to help me, right? And I remember early on in my meditation retreats, I would ask my teacher that, because we're doing metta meditation, so the loving kindness meditation, that we need to literally include everyone that we meet this lifetime, that we need to pray for them and saying that may you be well, may you be happy, and may you be free from sufferings. And I have a hard time at the time asking my retreat teacher that I cannot forgive my enemies or the people who have done things wrong to me. Like, how can I pray for them? I had a challenge around that, right? But those are actually the people that you need to let go of the most, because forgiveness is to free yourself. It gives yourself freedom. It has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with me. I finally learned it now after a decade, right? But that's like actually more like 20 years. I finally learned this lesson, forgiveness. Working through my personal forgiveness journey with my mom, that's the hardest thing for me to resolve. But I think I kind of upgrade, my soul kind of graduate from this particular soul lesson. And that's exactly what I need to learn. That's why I have this soul contract in my life, right? So you can also ask yourself that, what is this particular hard relationship trying to teach me? Is it trying to help me heal a particular shadow side of myself, to understand how to grow healthy boundaries so that I don't get taken advantage of all the time, or to develop self-worth, to understand that I am worthy enough just as I am. I don't need to prove my self-worth, or learn forgiveness, right? So some soul contracts are complete this lifetime, which is great. That's like, I call it choose your own adventure game. Do you choose forgive this lifetime, or do you want to push the restart button and do it another lifetime, right? So it's completely your choice. So it's important that if you are aware that there is a negative soul contract there, you can work on resolving it this lifetime. If you don't resolve it, as I mentioned, if I don't forgive my mom, I know I'm going to getting this mom in different figures in other lifetimes. So if you don't want to be bugged of this particular lesson and repeat it in the hamster wheel, I highly recommend you to look into yourself and see if you can resolve it this lifetime. Okay, so when a soul contract is complete, what you will feel is very powerful. What you feel is that you feel like your lesson is learned, it's integrated in you, your pattern, your particular pattern, you understand that what was the pattern that you keep trapping you in, and also it's integrated. Okay, so this may mean that something is ending, something is shifting, something is transforming, not because it failed. So don't, like, when you parting ways with a soul, it doesn't mean that it failed. It sometimes just means that the soul contract is complete, and because its purpose is fulfilled, right? There's a very important, and also there's one spiritual practice that I highly recommend you. When you feel like you are ready to move on energetically, when you are ready to complete the soul contract so that you can reclaim your sovereignty and you don't leak your personal power to another soul, a cord cutting ritual is really great when the timing is right, to cut, basically energetically cut cord with this particular soul contract. And Archangel Michael is the angel that I work with to call in to clear out any negative soul contracts. And in fact, you can do it on a daily basis when you're consciously working on a negative soul contract. Now, there's a very important distinction here. Cord cutting ritual does not cut love, okay? Love is the most powerful fundamental consciously power in the universe. When we do a cord cutting ritual, cutting energetic cord between you and the negative soul contract, it does not cut any love. All it cuts off is any unhealthy attachments, energetic entanglement, and outdated agreements that you had signed before you come to this particular lifetime. Okay, so if it's an unhealthy cord, it drains your energy. So a simple cord cutting ritual, I think I also mentioned in the Oracle Color Wheel book, you can call in Archangel Michael, and of course you should be in a meditative space where you feel like you're tuning into the energy field or the spiritual realm, and you can call in Archangel Michael and ask him to help you to identify any relationships that no longer serve your highest good at the current timeline. And literally ask them, calling the divine light, like a white light, golden white light showering all around you, and visualize Archangel Michael's sword in indigo blue ray of light, almost cutting from the front head to toe, the back head to toe, left and right head to toe. And literally you can, sometimes I even visualize or imagine those cords as like toxic cords in like dark brown, black, really dark, energetic cords, like tentacles kind of, going out. And all you do is that I'm calling in all my personal power back, and I'm returning all the power to the other soul back to them. It's a very loving statement. It has nothing to, like, just his or her energy belong to her or him, and my energy belong to me, and I become a sovereign being. And that's all it is. And during this process, I sometimes do it during my nighttime shower. I find that also more effective because I also see Archangel Metatron, showering around me, pouring me with golden white light. Now, important thing is that once the cord is cut, it creates more energetic space. We want to immediately fill it with white light. So immediately, almost like once the cord is cut, you have kind of left, I wouldn't say a hole, kind of like left up like an energy field. So we want immediately the golden white light to fill up that space. So I literally will feel my vibration is rising up during that process. It's a very simple visualization that you can do inside your shower, just like Watch a Lovely Day 90 saying, just use it in the shower. Okay, this is very simple but very effective. And I sometimes also visualize all the emotions, because I have a really strong orange aura layer powered by the sacral chakra. So emotions is always my thing. So I always purge negative emotions through my root down the drain, literally, like all this dirty energy, and I will name those emotions. I would name, sadness, jealousy, grief, hatred, anything, anger, anything that you name, that particular soul contract have brought you, that's a negative emotion, you are cleansing them down to the drain, literally, or down to Mother Earth to transmute it into positive light. And that's a huge release. And then afterwards, you basically call in your soul fragments or personal power back and express gratitude with Archangel Michael. I typically work with Michael and Metatron at the same time. So I will express my gratitude to those angels who have helped me to, cleanse my aura. And talking about angelic work, it's interesting. I just want to share a small, personal story. Great, what a lovely day. She's practicing this too. It's a very powerful tool. If you haven't tried it, please do. I do it on a daily basis. You can also use it for energetic cleansing. Doesn't have to be a particular soul contract. And of course, if you identify a particular soul contract, please do that, include it in this process as well. So during this trip in Spain, I also, taught my daughter about different archangels, because I would say that, okay, because I pray. So I would tell her that, okay, you know what, we're in the airport and Archangel Michael is with us and Archangel Raphael is with us. There was nothing to fear about. We're all very protected. And she will ask me, Mommy, but I cannot see them. Like, how do you know they are with me, all the time? So one technique that I had, I think I also share it in one of my podcasts, how to connect with your spirit guides, is literally to ask for a sign. So the first, you need to give permission and, ask for a sign. Literally, the second is just ask for a sign. I said that typically I ask my sign. I know my sign now. It's basically feather. If I see a feather, I know my guardian angel is close. I share that particular story in the Aura Color Wheel book because I asked my guardian angel how I should call him. And because his energy is more masculine, some of your guardian angels are more masculine, some are more feminine. It depends on who your guardian angel is. And I told my daughter, why don't you ask for a sign so that you know that your guardian angel is with you? And then I told her that my sign is a feather. And she said that, how about nickel? I say, okay, sure. A nickel will do. And then we prayed together. I said that, okay, guardian angel, of my daughter, if you are with her, please show her a sign of a nickel so that she knows that you are with her. And of course, at the beginning, she was just like, keep saying that, why didn't I see it? Because she's a kid. Of course, she's not patient. And I told her that you need to surrender. You need to surrender to divine timing. You almost like ask for it and kind of forget about it. Otherwise, you're not going to receive it. So of course, she actually totally forgot about it. And then one day we were at a taxi. We were inside of a taxi. And she got a coin, like she saw something shiny inside of the taxi and picked it up. And she said, oh my gosh, my angel. That's literally like, that's like literally what she's saying, that my angel is with me. Look, Mommy, I got the nickel. And then I'm like, yep, although that's a euro, a nickel, but it doesn't matter. She immediately felt that resonance, right? So even a kid can do this. I'm just trying to tell you that, if you are open and ask for permission and then surrender to divine timing and looking without looking exactly, the sign will show up. And to me, most often it will be within 3 days. That's that easy. So please, the first thing is you need to open up to receive, right? Okay, I just want to put in this because I talk about working with the angelic realm, why we're doing the cord cutting. And for those of you who just don't believe, this is going to work, I just ask you to give it a try. Maybe for one time during your shower time, you just try it once, that you're going to ask Archangel Michael's help and see what magic is going to happen to you. Okay, so before we close today's topic, I have some reflective or reflection questions or soul inquiry questions that you can help yourself or ask yourself why you're doing past life regression, or when your soul begins to bubble up some familiarity in terms of your soul gifts, soul wounds, soul lessons, as well as a particular region, particular time that you are really drawn to, that you remember something. So these are really good questions that you can ask your soul or do automatic writing on. First, I would say that what gifts may your soul have carried in this lifetime? I think I mentioned that earlier. What might be the gift here that I can embody, already use this particular lifetime? So, for example, like I never done any dance training in my whole life. Not really. I danced ballroom a little bit when I was a teenager with my mom, and that's about it. But I still I want to dance flamenco. And of course, now I actually being able to perform. But like I distinctly remember that, it's something like comes really easy to someone or to you. It's because very likely you have already practiced this before. So that's why you can still pick it up. That's why it's never too late to learn a new thing, because you might have already learned that from the past lifetimes, right? So that's the first question you can ask. What gift may your soul have carried into this lifetime? And the second question is related to your soul wound. What fears may no longer belong to you? Okay, what fears may no longer belong to you? Because the fear that you carry right now might be coming from another past lifetimes, and that's triggered by another negative soul contract. Okay, that it's no longer, it doesn't belong to you this lifetime. And sometimes people just see something or experience something for the first time, and it's not familiar for them, but all of a sudden you get really fearful or you're really afraid without a reason. That's possibly your soul remembers in the past something dangerous had happened to you. But you don't need to carry that fear with you the whole time. Okay, so identifying those fears, like the fear of visibility, of taking that leap of faith, to really jump out and do what really lights your soul on fire, but you cannot do that now because you were told that you are supposed to be this. Okay, so all of these, it's going to help you understand your personal pattern. So what fear may no longer belong to you? And then another question is about soul contracts. What relationships have helped shape your growth? Okay, so those are the positive soul contracts or negative soul contracts. What are the negative soul contracts basically trying to teach you, and what are the positive soul contracts trying to grow you in or expand you in a positive direction? And then lastly, is there an old contract ready to be released? Now I understand that I'm glad Spirit gave me a thumbs up. I don't know how those emojis work on the live, but when we detect or aware of a negative soul contract, sometimes our soul is not ready to release it immediately. Now you can do the cord cutting ritual no matter what, right? You can still do the cord cutting ritual, but sometimes it takes some time for you humanly to finally release this particular soul contract. So, oh wow, I have no idea why I have firework currently behind me. I don't know how to trigger that emoji. I guess Spirit is really doing something for me here. So is there an old contract ready to be released? Is when you feel like you're ready, just for example, my soul contract with my mom, it took me humanly about 3 to 4 years to fully release. From the time that I'm aware of it, and completely ignore it, because humanly I just cannot handling forgiving her to until the point that right now I'm finally able to do it. It took me about 4 years human time. So do not force yourself that once you identify a negative soul contract, you want to immediately cut it. It's like, yes, you can do cord cutting, but also understand that it's layer by layer. It's really deep. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a soul contract, right? So just give yourself the grace and time to process and integrate this growth. You know, as long as you are moving forward a little bit by little bit by little bit, it's okay. Okay. So that's also important. So those were I personally find very helpful 5 questions. You know, I give you the 4, and the first question is actually when you're working on your past life regression, is what is this lifetime trying to teach you today, right? So those are the 5 questions that you can ask yourself or ask your soul doing some automatic writing right after a meditation, past life meditation, past life regression meditation. And another thing that I want to mention there is that in the Akashic record, or in the quantum field really, there were multiple versions of you stacked up on each other. And depending on your current vibrational level, that's the reality you are living, okay? So time is an illusion. Linear time is an illusion. In the quantum field, everything happens simultaneously together. So that means that when you tap into the Akashic record, you might retrieve a version of you literally in the future. If you think from a linear standpoint, it can be the current version of you, it can be the past version of you, it can be the future version of you. You can access that. That's literally like when I work with Archangel Michael, that's what I see. So while you're doing ideally, if you don't have any experience doing past life regression meditation, I highly recommend you to work with someone who's either certified or experiencing in this realm, so you're more comfortable in getting into the hypnotherapy, almost like the hypnosis state or the theta brainwave. But if you are a long-time meditation practitioner, it's likely that you can do self-regression. Right now, I can just do self-regression on my own, and sometimes I use my phone to feel myself because once I get into that theta, that kind of falling asleep but not really sleep state, I might not be consciously remember all the things that I have spoken or doing when I'm doing my self-hypnotherapy, pretty much. So, and if you're interested in dive a little bit deeper into this topic, this Thursday in the Aura Evolution Sanctuary membership, I literally will guide the members in a live hypnotherapy session to dive into your particular past life that's related to your current lifetime. Okay. Now, because also I'm able to tune into the quantum, I can literally see what's going on collectively. Psychically, I'm able to see in my third eye what's the lifetimes or what's the movie that's playing in your third eye or in your pineal gland. So if you're interested, please join us live this Thursday in the Aura Evolution Sanctuary membership. And of course, it's a growing library of contents that you can work on for your soul's growth. And also, as a founding member for the first year, you are going to get the first month for free. So highly recommend you to join a group of like-minded people that's working on their aura evolution to their next soul gift archetype. So typically this gathering happens every first Thursday of the month. And because I was traveling, so it will be this Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And of course, if you cannot tune in live, you can always watch the recording and ask me questions inside the community, as well as sharing your insights with other members inside of the community. Okay, I am very grateful to share this space with you and you're tuning in today. I hope this episode can bring you some insights and inspiration to look into your past lives that's relevant for your soul gifts, wounds, and lessons. And next Monday, we are going to have a very special guest, a
soul astrologer, Danielle Page, is going to be joining me on a conversation in terms of how to use your astrology chart to really, embody your soul's purpose. So if you are tuning with us live, please hop on. It will be a very interesting or inspiring conversation with her, and you can ask her live questions on any platforms. Again, it's Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Otherwise, you can always tune into the audio version on Tuesday. So I will see you next Monday. Until next time, have a beautiful, wonderful week.